Welcome, Asha Radio listeners, to our very special segment today. This is me, Steve John Pinelli, and I have a very special guest with me today, Mr. Dalton Divakaran, who is a Malayali professional from Dallas, who's actually doing some great things, especially in India and across the world. Welcome to the show, Mr. Divakaran.
Well, thanks, Steve. Thanks for having me today with you guys. It's just an honor to be with you today.
Thank you. Thank you for showing up on such short notice. I know you're a busy guy. We heard about the things you were doing, and we thought it would be a great idea to share what you're doing with our Asha Radio listeners, and as well as, people in Kerala and people around the world. You are a corporate professional from Kerala,
Yeah,
from Trivandrum, and you've been in Dallas for the past
10 years.
10 years. Your new initiative is called Ethne.
Correct.
And Ethne is actually helping people in India that are going through the COVID pandemic. Tell us more about Ethne and how it came to be.
Sure, yeah. I live with my wife here in Dallas. And at Ethne, we believe that true passion finds purpose. And how Ethne evolved, or how the reason that we decided to make it an organization, is because the smaller projects that we were doing to help the community just grew, and there was so much room for others to come and join the cause. So we founded Ethne in 2018, me and my wife, when we met a group of professionals who believed in the same vision that true passion finds purpose. So whatever we were passionate about in our corporate sector, maybe finance, maybe it's IT and security in the IT space, maybe it's just operations, maybe it's creativity, and there are some of veterans and from the healthcare sector on board, and also from the nonprofit sector as well. So we met a group of professionals who wanted to do much more beyond their corporate day jobs and give back to the community. So initially we started with small projects, but then it grew. Then we figured out, okay, it's time to form an organization, and then so that people can contribute and obviously get their tax exempt benefits, but most importantly, just to have structure, as well as being accountable to folks that have been donating to the causes. So that's how Ethne was formed in 2018. And we focus our attention mainly to vulnerable women and children across all people groups. The word ethne means people groups, so it's really close to all of our hearts. So we, irrespective of color, creed, caste, nation, we just want to serve every people group around the world.
Right. So you guys formed in 2018, and I guess this year might have been, the biggest challenge for you guys, considering how everybody in the world is going through the same thing. And back home in India, getting worse by the day. Resources are low, and I hear that you guys have put together a lot of resources and trying to send supplies and materials to India as well. So how hard is it to actually get supplies there? Because I know a lot of friends and family that want to help, that want to either send supplies or donate money or whatever, but how hard was it for you guys to actually get people on the ground in India and actually get things done? Because a lot of times people don't think that whatever they're doing here won't get to India.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's been a constant struggle, right? It's just a lot of money has been abused in the past that's been going to India. So to build the trust is really hard, especially for like a younger organization like ours. It was very challenging initially because of the questions that came through. But our strength again was our professional skill set, because we have VPs from the IT and cybersecurity and operations, and we have veterans from the nonprofit space. So we really leveraged all our skill sets to put a strategy in place initially, right? As I
Right.
said, there's none more vulnerable than the people of India right now.
Right.
And what we did was actually we leveraged our staff on the ground. Last year, one of our board members, actually, he was a dentist. He had a dental practice himself. His wife was from the finance world. Both of them actually believed in this cause. They retired early, sold their dental practice, sold their house, and moved to India to take care of our operations there. So having them,
Wow.
solid professionals who are committed and passionate on the ground was
Right.
very vital for us. So they really uh, pulled through all the challenges there, educating the board here in the US. But in the same time, we also leverage all our corporate connections because I work for Salesforce.
Right.
Salesforce had sent two full load of supplies worth $2 to $3 million.
Wow.
So I reached out to our CEO of philanthropy there, and she connected me with her entire team to figure out how to procure ventilators, procure oxygen concentrators, and how even to ship it without being stuck at customs. Because the
Right. Right.
challenge maybe was a lot of nations and corporates are sending stuff to India, but
Right.
they're getting stuck in Delhi.
Right,
And
right. Because there was a whole news article about how even U.S. aid that was sent by the State Department was stuck in the Delhi airport. So, it just seems that you can't do more than thing. It's just hard for people to get help there.
right, yeah. So we had to get our own import-export license just to make sure that we won't get stuck in customs. And it was really a learning process for us too. But we were 24/7 on calls. After our day jobs, the whole team was actually they're probably right now everybody's burnt out and stretched so thin because we're all professionals. We don't get paid for what we do outside of
Right.
work. We don't want to, and it was just our passion to help people. So yeah, so the team just rallied together day and night to just get these supplies in there. Things are getting better there, but still, there India needs a lot of help, especially in the rural parts and the vulnerable areas, in the outskirts of cities and in the villages.
So it's pretty impressive that you guys put this together, and in a very short span of time, you were able to, like you said, get licenses, talk to people, network, even have people on the ground in India to make sure the operation is running smoothly. So this is no mean feat. This is very impressive, and I just want to thank you for all your hard work, each and every one of you. How many people are part of this organization, if I may ask?
So we have 8 members on the board who are our full-time staff or full-time
Right.
volunteers as
Right.
well. And then the couple that who moved to India, they're real volunteers as well. As of now, we have not budgeted anything for our capacity building this year, but hopefully we will have full-time staff going on because now we realize that it's time to really hire some people because we're like a full-fledged organization.
Right. You've grown pretty big, pretty substantially in the last 2, 3 years.
Yeah, we did. So it's getting really challenging to manage our day jobs as well as this. So now we're really looking
Right.
at
So something that I personally thought when I heard your story, and while we were talking earlier, is how does someone like me get to be a part of that? And I'm pretty sure there's a lot of our listeners that see you and they look at you and they see, well, I mean, that could be me. I want to do something for people that are struggling, especially in Kerala or anywhere around the world. How do I be a part of this? Or what can I do? Maybe I can't do as much as you guys are doing, but how can I make my little presence felt?
Yeah, great question. Actually, we invite every professional who wants to give back to the community to be part of our organization. And there's at least one way you can get plugged into the organization for sure. I want to share this cool story about this guy. He was working at Deloitte and he moved back to India probably a few months ago to take care of his ailing mom.
Mhm.
So when my sister, who lives in Hyderabad, was diagnosed positive for COVID and she had 30% lung damage, and she couldn't actually find a hospital for 8 hours. She was looking for a bed, hospital hopping after hospital hopping. This guy actually called me up and said, because I posted online and he found out that my sister was struggling, he said, I'll go help. And he went out to help. But in the same process, he learned that ambulance drivers were charging 35,000 rupees to
Right.
1.5 rupees just to transport patients.
Right. Right.
He said, I am willing to do whatever I can. Is there any way that I can receive help from your organization? So the easiest part for us to do was put $7,000 in the ground and to buy an ambulance. But what
Right.
guy did with an ambulance was phenomenal. So he is an IT professional, has no healthcare experience. He goes the very first day he gets the ambulance. He said, "I'll drive it because no one else is gonna drive it, and I have to pay them." So he starts. You know this Maruti Omni that you get.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Quite expensive to get one,
Right.
but the challenge was to convert it into an ambulance. So there was no oxygen cylinders available, so he had to go to the black market, and he leveraged all his internal connections, local
Right.
to finally make it in an ambulance, get certification process go, all sorted out, and he finally puts an ambulance on the ground. So this first person that he serves is a random gentleman on the corridor of a government hospital. He starts talking to him, and he asks him, "Why are you so upset?" And this gentleman says, "My aunt needs a ride to the hospital, and nobody can give her a ride. The reason being, her husband just passed away due to COVID, and she's also COVID positive." And my friend, he said, I just recovered from COVID. I can definitely help you, your aunt." And this lady gets into his van, the ambulance, and the first thing she does is she just starts to weep and weep, and she just can't stop crying. At some point, she controlled her tears, and she said, "You are an angel sent by God. I never thought I would see my husband's face again. You made it happen for one last time." And imagine, this guy is not a healthcare professional.
Right. Right.
It's like you and I, we just had a passion to serve an IT professional working in the corporate sector. So,
Right.
yeah, the moral of the story is just, if you have a heart to serve, there's
Right.
definitely a place to serve, not just with Ethne or Mauro organization, but
Right.
there's so
Right.
many organizations, so many young folks doing amazing job out there in India, and that's the hope, right? The next
Right.
generation
Right.
is great, and that's the hope that we see on the ground.
And actually, you brought up, I mean, like you said, you brought up a very good point about how if you have the heart to serve, there's a lot of opportunity. But at the same time, I can't overlook the fact that how much of this corruption and price gouging and all that stuff is still there, even during a pandemic. So for me, it's an eye opener, because there are some people that won't change. There are people that try to take advantage of the situation. So I think people like you and people like members in your organization should step up. And I think there's a lot of people listening to us right now that would love to do something. And I hope that they really take this as, a sign or an opportunity for them to go out there and do something, because there are a lot of people that really need our help. Thank you so much, Mr. Dalton Divakaran, for coming on today, telling us your story. I'm inspired. I'm actually definitely going to look up Ethne one more time and see how I can help. And I hope all our Asha Radio listeners, whether in the US or anywhere in the world, get inspired by this and want to make a change in the world too. But thank you so much once again for all that you do. And I know you're running low on sleep, so I'm not going to hold you up with hunger. But I just want to say thank you, and give our best to all your board members and everybody working for Ethne. And I hope to see Ethne on the world stage going forward.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so
So
much.
again, um, as we're just continuing to help India as of now, because there's still so much need. But for the audience or who's listening to me, sometimes when it's all negative news and it's all tragedy that you hear, it's overwhelming, right?
Right. Very true.
So as creatives, again, we came up with a new way to just still continue to help India. So we're actually doing an in-person 5K run or walk. You don't have to run, you can walk or crawl. Right. Do whatever you want, just have fun, have a conversation. But get out there if you're in Dallas at White Rock Lake. It's a beautiful lake, an awesome place just to have fun with your friends or family. Bring them along on June 26th in Dallas at White Rock Lake. But we are also extending that virtually. So if you're in any part of the world, just go to 5kforindia.org, sign up virtually, create a team, create some buzz, and have fun out there. But at the same time, when you sign up, every penny is going to helping people who are suffering right now in India. So 5kforindia.org. That's the way.
5kforindia.org. I'll try to walk. I don't know if I'm going to run, but I'll definitely try to walk with you on this one.
Yeah.
But thank you so much. And we'll definitely share that information on our Asha Radio page as well. It's at 5kforindia.com, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much again.